Tess Lukey, co-curator for the Boston Public Art Triennial. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, the Triennial that everybody's been looking forward to has finally opened. Can you tell us about the opening and what else you have in store for the rest of the exhibition?
It was a really wonderful opening, and it feels really great to finally have this wonderful exhibition here in Boston. For me, it's this incredible acknowledgement of the wealth of expertise that's in the Boston region and really an attempt to kind of take away those silos that I think many of us are used to seeing. And really embody that kind of embedded wisdom and ingenuity of our local peoples and our culture here in Boston. And so it was really an incredible moment, is an incredible moment for Boston to have art accessible to everyone and free and open to all. And so to see the community come together and be so much a part of that has been absolutely unreal.
Celebrating art is what brings people together, right? And
It really
and
is.
yeah, absolutely. So tell us about, the Public Art Triennial has, over a dozen huge, large scale sculptures throughout the city that, people will just happen upon and will be able to receive those stories told by the artists. Why is that so important?
It's important because it really makes creativity and culture and dialogue accessible. As you said, people can just encounter it at any moment in any of the neighborhoods across Boston, in downtown, in Charlestown, on a university campus. And so it has this wonderful ability to transform these shared spaces into really places of connection and meaning and reflection in many ways. And for me, it also invites people to really engage with art outside of a traditional institution. So it really sparks these conversations about identity and community, and memory and even social issues. So it really is a wonderful way to challenge viewers to see the world in new ways.
Absolutely. And sometimes, there can be barriers that are set in the way of people, barriers,
Yeah.
ticket prices or certain exhibitions or whatever it is. People feel like they may not have access to art,
Yeah, it
art.
brings
But
it brings art into your daily life.
exactly, you're walking by on your daily commute and you see a huge sculpture and it might bring a new perspective.
At its best, really public art kind of reflects the voices of the people who live and kind of move through those spaces. And so it really reinforces this sense of belonging and shared experience.
Absolutely. Which artists are you most looking forward to?
I mean, I'm a little biased, being Native American myself, being Quinawampanoag from here in Massachusetts. I'm really excited about the participation of the Indigenous artists that are here because Boston has not the best at acknowledging the Indigenous presence in that city and kind of how we've shaped that landscape. And so um, public art in kind of the context of indigeneity really serves as a powerful tool for visibility, and for cultural continuity and land acknowledgement. And so artists like Chanupa Hanska Luger's work and Nicholas Galanin and NRO's work are some of the three that I am so excited about the public being able to experience because they really offer a space for Indigenous knowledge and stories to really shape kind of the present and future of our public landscapes.
We had the chance to go to the Triennial opening and see Nicholas Galanin's his opening works. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about the meaning behind his work and anything else that you love about Nicholas?
Oh, absolutely. The only word that I can think of to describe him is chill. He is one of this incredibly humble and kind people. And it's reflected, I think, in his art. Also, it really truly engages kind of with contemporary culture in a way that I don't see always other artists working, and is really rooted in connection to the land. He is looking at these intersections of culture and concept in like form and image, and sound for for example, in the piece that's at MAM right now. But the piece that's outside really kind of embodies this like really incredible critical thinking around like knowledge and culture and technology and how we change. And so his work for the triennial, I think it goes like this: pick yourself up. really touches on those ideas. And he's a multidisciplinary artist. So you'll see him working in a variety of mediums. For example, the man piece is a cedar box drum, but the piece that's outside, it's a bronze piece on a steel pedestal.
Right.
And it's this monumental sculpture that's cast from chopped up imitations of totem poles
Hmm.
that were sold to tourists out from his community out in Tlingit area. Um, and so the resulting kind of bronze logs that are they're made from form this kneeling figure that's really gathering itself up from a pile. And so it really kind of reflects on the damage to indigenous culture and technology that's been inflicted by colonization. And so it really has this kind of beautiful way of acknowledging the difficulty of repair following generations of outside interference. And so, in particular, he was actually looking at Indonesian carved tropical wood that often was traded in the area of his community. Um, so it's kind of this interesting, twice removed from the Tlingit practice of cedar totems. So it's this interesting amalgamation of cultures and thought processes and um, amalgamation of looking at stereotypes and moving forward with them through them.
Right. And his personal experience as an Indigenous person, you know, allowed him to take all of those ideas and mesh them together into a truly stunning and almost daunting sculpture that sort of towers over you when you look up at it.
It's true. You know, I think about that in the context of where it is located too,
Right.
and the history of Boston and monuments, and really how bronze has kind of been co-opted in a way and respected and revered in colonial context. And so he's taken this kind of very important medium and is asserting it and inserting it in an indigenous framework. And so it's really, I think, an interesting way of subverting what the public's understanding is of monuments and turning it on its head, really.
Very refreshing to see, you know, young people of color creating art that stands tall in our city. You know, there's going to be all of these grand sculptures found throughout the city, different neighborhoods of Boston. How do you hope that these public art exhibitions will bring communities together?
Well, you know, as a native person from New England, I think about Boston as kind of this city that you wander, that you move about, that you encounter, you know, these really wonderful moments here and there, quiet, surprising, exciting. And as a native person from New England, that kind of a connection, that fluidity is really important. It's a way as Indigenous people, we communicated and connected through water. And so these streets and neighborhoods of Boston are very much like those rivers. And so I hope that people wander through the city in this fashion, you know, really engaging with the people and the places and the art and those wonderful community organizations and nonprofits and mom and pop shops that you encounter along the way that really connects you from place to place. And have a chance to visit those places that maybe you've never been before and uplift those communities through that.
Absolutely. So, could you tell our viewers where they can learn more about the Triennial and where they could go and see all of these incredible sculptures?
Well, you'll have to check out our Bloomberg Connects app because it's definitely a wonderful way to engage with all of the works across the city. But first and foremost, go to our website at thetriennial.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tess, for coming in and sharing a little bit more about the artists that are going to be featured and telling our viewers all about this incredible and exciting new exhibition happening in our city.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.